Hi, welcome back to Outdoor Gear and Skills. I am out on the North Umpqua Trail, and it's kind of a sloppy mess in some parts where little creeks are coming down, but this is the first time I've been out here hiking since the Archie Creek fire that happened in September of 2020, and it has just devastated this. I'm going to flip my camera around a little bit and see if I can show some of this devastation. I don't know that this is really kind of doing it justice, but this area was just gorgeous. It was really dense trees. You know, you really couldn't see off in the distance, hardly at all. And this trail's been around, I believe, since the late 90s. And it runs, I think it's 79 miles from Lake Maidu down to Swiftwater, which is where I started. And that was about 0.8 of a mile back there. But I am wearing my Oboz, trying to think now while I'm walking, Sawtooth II Mid waterproof boots, and this is really the first time I've gotten them out on the trail. I've worn them kind of around in the yard doing a little bit of work, trying not to turn them into a work boot, so I'm trying to be careful with that. But I've kind of worn it just around in a building with concrete floor for quite a while. They've been really comfortable for me. So this is first time out on the trail. So there are several bridges that have washed out on this trail, and I'm gonna flip around. This is new. I want to show in the background right here that section that is huge of a tree that fell over. Haven't been here, so I haven't seen it on the other side, but while we're here, I want to come stand up against it for reference, and I'm really kind of right at the base. So this thing's got to be 12 to 15 feet. It's at least twice my height that's fallen over. We'll go see what's on the other side. So here's that big tree over my right shoulder here that's gone down. Wow, big tree. You can kind of see from that side. That's massive. Came across the trail here and they had to cut it, but there are just down trees everywhere. But back to my boots. Wanted to try to catch some good weather today. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and had the day off, sunny, pretty warm, wanted to get out, and so I've kind of pushed past some of this. So far on the trail, I have slipped in really muddy conditions. Lost my footing just a little bit, like on an embankment, so it wasn't on flat ground. It was really unsure footing. Just lost it a little bit, but I was holding on to a tree branch or something as I went down this little creek where an old bridge had been, and another fallen tree right here. So a little bit of a muddy section. We've had so much rain so far this season, which we really need, and I want to see if I can kind of show you. Here's another tree that's gone down. More trees that have gone down. But moving on, we're very thankful for the rain. We're so much higher than we've been the last year or two, so it's fantastic. As I'm hiking on this trail, there's a lot of little creeks and just little streams that are coming in that are making everything really sloppy. Bridges are gone. I'm coming up on a spot right now that is, the bridge is gone. So there's a couple logs here So I'm just going to walk across. All right. So a little muddy, but I was flat, so I had some sure footing on that, no problems. I did accidentally step in one of the creeks back there before I started filming, and I opted for the waterproof version of these Oboz boots, and it was $15 more. I'm glad I did. Yeah, I live in a wet environment. I just would rather have my feet be dry. I know a lot of hiking boots will offer a certain amount of water, resistance, but I just wanted to have a little bit of that. Stepped in that creek back there, like I said, no problems at all. I can't even tell that I did it. It's to the point too where the darker discoloration of when I stepped in the water is mostly faded on the boot, so there's no hint of moisture on my feet. Here's another big tree that went down. They're just everywhere. Right here you can see just burned trees just everywhere. Normally I would not even be able to see that hill because the trees were so dense on both sides of the river, and it's just heartbreaking to see this. So I'm in a section now where it's sticky. I'm making some gurgling noises as I'm walking through, but great stability on these boots, great traction. Really like that. This is going to be a shorter hike. I've got to go get my son from school. Or sorry, not school. He's got to get him from work here in a little bit. So I got out of the house a little bit later than I wanted, so I'm not going to be able to do the hike that I'd hoped yesterday. But I just wanted to really kind of see how these shoes performed and get out on the trail. So we're going through right here where they had to cut through some logs to keep this trail going. Up above me here, it's just gutted. Trees went down, they got cut down because they were a danger. I shouldn't even be able to see that hill behind me. All the times that I have mountain biked and hiked on this section of the trail, most of this stuff you just couldn't even see. So it is a great trail though, and so far it's been a good test of these boots. Stability, traction, waterproof. So far everything's great. I had mentioned before I got these on backcountry.com, and I got a 15% discount for my first purchase. So that dropped the boots from $150 for the waterproof down to $133. So it more than covered the amount that I went up for the waterproof nature. But again, even if I hadn't, it'd be totally worth it. So just kind of going through these, I'm wearing some decent, not really wool hiking socks, but they are some thicker socks. I don't even remember what brand they are to tell you, but they're feeling great. I don't have any movement on my feet, so I'm not having fatigue or any type of slipping inside my boots or anything. So I'm just really glad that I went for these. Compared to the Keens that I used to have, they got lost in my house fire. I think they got thrown out of the entryway onto the front lawn. They didn't burn. I think they just got tossed. I like these better. These are more comfortable. The Keens to me felt kind of cloggy. One of my friends, Lauren Morse, really liked his Keens. He said that he had Fred Flintstone feet, so he had really square feet, so he liked the Keens. I don't, so I prefer these Oboz. They just have such a good feel to them for me. I wear a size 9, and I'm a pretty standard, you know, off the rack guy for all my clothes. Every once in a while, a pair of shoes or something might fit me in an 8.5, but usually I'm a 9. I ordered these as a 9. They're true to size for me. So that was really good. I was able to try on a pair in Sportsman's Warehouse in Roseburg that were not waterproof when I was first looking at them to see how they felt. Not a big one for just buying shoes or something off the internet that I haven't tried or, you know, handled or looked at or something, but I was able to do that Sportsman's Warehouse, and it was just going to be weeks to be able to get a pair in. I was hoping to get them in time for hunting season. I did not, so I just wore some old trashy tennis shoes. So it will be different this next hunting season, but worth the wait to get them, and they've been great. Getting into another muddy section here, so I'm really just liking these boots. They look cool. So I am coming to a little creek right here. You can kind of see that when I block out the sun a little bit. Got a little creek right there, and these are all over the place. This is one of the reasons in my Camelback Transalp I've got a life straw with me. I've got the North Umpqua River that's, you know, maybe 60 feet away. But I did fill up my Camelback, but didn't really make an effort to stay out of that creek. Just kind of stomped through it again just because I can. And I have waterproof boots. But as I continue on, I've done a couple of steep inclines and declines on this trail so far, and I've gone about 1.3 miles, and these shoes have been great. I really can't say enough good things about them. Just went through some sloppy, rocky section, didn't have any problem, you know, with stability or things like that. When I was in my probably late 20s, I rolled my ankle for the first time, and I had a lot of problems with that. I've rolled it pretty badly several years ago, but these are great. They're giving me total support. I wouldn't really say that I have, you know, a weak ankle, or I'm not overly concerned about it, but every time I'm just walking through some of this stuff, it's telling me that, you know, these boots are solid. I'm on good ground. And aside from that really slippery part when I was on an embankment, which I would expect to be an issue, they've been great. So before I sign off, I did just want to give you a look at the North Umpqua River right there. This is such an awesome river. This starts, like I said, up at Lake Maidu. From here, it's probably 78 miles, and it'll go past Roseburg, join up with the South Umpqua River, and it'll go all the way out to the Pacific Ocean. So it's just a gorgeous river. I want to show you, here's my boots right there. So I did kind of plop through the water just a little bit. But again, the Oboz Sawtooth II Mid sole, waterproof is I think how they classify it. I'm giving it a 2 thumbs up. Great boots. If you have any comments, any questions, hit me up in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching Outdoor Gear and Skills, and we'll hope to see you out on the trail.